Today, kids are being taught that the color of their skin defines them again. And if they look a certain way, they're an oppressor. From colleges to corporations to our culture, people are making money and gaining power by pretending we haven't made any progress at all, by doubling down on the divisions we've worked so hard to heal. You know this stuff is wrong. Hear me clearly. America is not a racist country.
All right, guys. So as you can see there, Senator Tim Scott from South Carolina attempted to give a unifying message. He went out there and said, America is not a racist country, right? And to all us normal people, we're like, yeah, no, America's not a racist country. But apparently this statement upset all the racists in this country, right? Because the progressives, or the so-called progressives, attacked him on Twitter endlessly because of Tim Scott's statement. And guys, the irony here is incredible. It really is, because you have these same people that swore up and down that America's a racist country, and a black Republican goes out there and gives a speech and says that America's not a racist country. And yet these so-called progressives, who, you know, are supposed to be these race crusaders, react on Twitter in a way that is textbook racist. Okay, for example, you have the Ricky DeVilla, who says, quote, I just turned off the Tim Scott Uncle Tom GQP rebuttal. I don't need their token sharing their propaganda in my home after hearing an exceptional speech and plans for the future. Not today, Satan. This man called Tim Scott and Uncle Tom. Matter of fact, Uncle Tim was trending on Twitter. Okay, trending on Twitter because the so-called race crusaders, right, and the social justice activists were attacking a black man who said that America's not racist, but also who said that he has experienced some racism from an individual, but the country as a whole is not racist. And you also have LGBTQ activist Scott Nevins, who has a history of calling black Republicans Uncle Toms, said Senator Tim Scott is Uncle Tomming for his life. So sad. South Carolina should be so ashamed. Wow. Wow. White liberals using racial slurs against black people because they don't agree with their political beliefs. These are exactly the kind of liberals that Malcolm X warned us about.
The American Negro is nothing but a political football, and the white liberals control this ball through tricks or tokenism, false promises of integration and civil rights. In this game of deceiving and using the American Negro, the white liberals have complete cooperation of the Negro civil rights leader, who sell our people out for a few crumbs of token recognition, token gains, token progress.
This guy, Scott Nevins, calls himself a social justice activist. Okay, this is who these people are, right? When people show you who they are, believe them, okay? Jason Nichols says, Tim Scott is a clown and his ancestors are ashamed of him. Again, this is very familiar to black conservatives because we're always told that our ancestors would be ashamed of us for being conservative. Okay, even though some of the greatest figures in African American history, such as Frederick Douglass and Booker T. Washington, were in fact conservative. But for some reason, they want us to think that our ancestors will be ashamed of us because we don't want to embrace a big government agenda, okay, that further divides America by race instead of uniting America. Even their Lord and Savior, Kamala Harris, agrees with Tim Scott that America is not a racist country.
Senator Tim Scott said last night that America is not a racist country. Do you agree with that? And what do you make of his warning against fighting discrimination with more discrimination?
I believe that we need to address, well, first of all, no, I don't think America is a racist country, but we also do have to speak truth about the history of racism in our country and its existence today.
Again, as you can see, guys, Kamala agrees with Tim Scott, but for whatever reason, Aunt Kamala is not trending on Twitter, right? Nobody's calling Kamala Harris racial slurs. So apparently a Democrat can say that America's not a racist country, but a Republican can't. A black man who grew up in the South cannot say that America's not a racist country, or else he gets called racial slurs by the so-called race crusaders. Tim Scott said that America's not a racist country. He did not say they're not individual racists in this country. Everybody knows, and not many people will deny, that there are people who are racist at the individual level. Yes, there are individual racists. However, that does not make the country as a whole racist. Those are two different things. Our bodies are always fighting off different diseases all the time. We're always fighting off cancer. That doesn't mean that you have cancer, right? If you want to know an example of a truly systemically oppressive system that happens at the national level, you should probably look at a country like India that has historically had a caste system in which if you was born at the bottom of the bottom, aka you were untouchable, there is literally nothing that you could do in life to dig yourself out of that position because of the fact that you were born in that position. That is truly a systemically oppressive system. We do not have that in America. Matter of fact, Tim Scott, he always uses the slogan from cotton field to Congress. This slogan in and of itself really pisses off the progressives because it goes directly against the idea that you cannot move up in this country, that those born at the bottom have to stay at the bottom, especially black people. Tim Scott is the antithesis of the forever victimhood narrative that the progressives want to push. Herein lies the reason why they hate Tim Scott. Why, when somebody like Tim Scott, who again came from Cottonfield to Congress, goes out and gives an address for a party that they claim is a party of white supremacy, why that bothers them so much? Because it is literally a counter example to the narrative that they try to push on everyday Americans, okay? This is why there's so much hate for Tim Scott. This is why Twitter had to step up and block Uncle Tim from trending on Twitter, right? That's how bad they was coming after this man. And don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not trying to victimize Tim Scott. He's the exact opposite of a victim. He's an example of an American success story. And Tim Scott, who's a black senator from South Carolina, again, the South, a place that a lot of people claim is racist. He's also the antithesis of what they claim the Republican Party is. They try to say that Tim Scott is just a token. Tim Scott is not a token. Tim Scott is an integral part of what the Republicans do in Congress. He's on 5 committees, right? Having to do with finance, banking, and labor, okay? He has a huge voice in the Republican Party. And not only that, he worked with President Trump directly to develop economic opportunity zones, increase funding for HBCUs, and pass criminal justice reform with the First Step Act. With that being said, I'm going to tell you who the real tokens are. The tokens really are the AOCs, the Cori Bushes, the Ayanna Presleys, and the squads of the Democrat Party. What have they worked on directly with Biden to pass? I'll wait. These so-called not tokens can't even get the Democrats to vote on progressive priorities like Medicare for All or the Green New Deal. They can't even get a vote. They have no impact in Congress whatsoever, but yet they're not called tokens. But Tim Scott, who's a successful businessman, an American success story, who worked his way up in South Carolina, the South, to become an integral part of the Republican Party and work directly with the president to pass historic criminal justice reform, to pass policies that these people couldn't even dream of working with Joe Biden to pass. He's a token to these people. He's a token. But these so-called social justice warriors, these activists who do nothing, who have no effect on anything in Congress whatsoever, who Joe Biden goes out there and pretends like he wants to do something for them, knowing that he ain't doing a damn thing for them, they're not tokens. All the Democrats do is pander to the progressives. They don't do anything they want. They have no impact whatsoever. Tim Scott actually has an impact. Tim Scott is actually getting shit done. He ain't just out here talking. He's doing. Tim Scott actually has some influence in the party. But he's a token. Token, they want to call him. He's just there just because. That's what they say. But see, they don't realize that while the Democrats, again, won't even give them one vote on the progressive priorities, but at the same time, they love the fact that AOC goes out there and raises money for the Democrats in the name of social justice, in the name of equity. That's what they do. So the Democrat tokens are out there raising money for the establishment Democrats, aka Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Biden, Kamala, while at the same time, they have no voice in the party whatsoever. They have no influence. AOC couldn't even get a meeting with Biden if she wanted to. Tim Scott out here working directly with President Trump. The same person that y'all said is a white supremacist. White supremacist Trump worked with Tim Scott, a black man, a black Republican, to try to pass policies that Tim Scott felt was beneficial for the black community. But you fools go out here and you're going to say that this man is an Uncle Tom? That he's a sellout? That he's just a token? When you people have been tokens for the Democrats since the daggone Civil Rights Act, you've been nothing but a token. Nancy Pelosi goes out here after George Floyd's death wearing daggone koofies. Koofies. While at the same time filibustering Tim Scott's police reform bill. And then going out here and saying, thank you, George Floyd, for your sacrifice. Thank you for giving the Democrats a layup. Thank you for allowing the Democrats to use his death to promote their radical agenda. That, by the way, ain't got nothing to do with black folks. Got nothing to do with black folks. And the Democrats do it time and time and time and time and time again. But yet somebody who's actually done something is called a token. Tim Scott has actually done something. None of the people that they champion have done anything. They haven't been able to get anything accomplished. And then they wonder why every election season they want to complain after they voted in a Democrat. Why did not do anything for the black community? Why black community not getting anything from the Democrats? Because you vote like chumps. Exactly what Malcolm X said.
When you see this, you can see that the Negro vote is the key factor. And despite the fact that you are in a position to be the determining factor, what do you get out of it? The Democrats have been in Washington, D.C. only because of the Negro vote. They've been down there 4 years. And all other legislation they wanted to bring up, they brought it up and got it out of the way, and now they bring up you. And now they bring up you. You put them first and they put you last. Because you're a chump. The party that you back controls 2/3 of the House of Representatives and the Senate, and still they can't keep their promise to you because you're a chump. Anytime you throw your weight behind a political party that controls 2/3 of the government, and that party can't keep the promise that it made to you during election time, and you're dumb enough to walk around continuing to identify yourself with that party, you're not only a chump, but you're a traitor to your race.
You throw all your weight behind a party and you get nothing in return, and you keep voting for them because the GOP is full of white supremacists. We can't vote for them. Again, you don't even realize you've been tokenized. But like I said, man, I'm going off here because this pisses me off. Tim Scott is a good man. Okay? He's an American success story. You might not like his politics. You may not like all the things he says. I get it. But to attack him because he has a different political opinion than you, and because he's a black person saying something that you think black people shouldn't say, is disgusting. It is disgusting. And the Democrats and the progressives have showed us who the real racists are in this country. They really have. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.